Namaste, Jagdish ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Okay.
Namaste, Jagdish ji.
Namaste, namaste, namasarvebhyaha. Okay, our 2 minutes up. Let's start with the prayers.
Yes.
Okay, so one male voice and female voice, one female voice can join for the prayer, because otherwise it will be too noisy. Pick yourself. Share screen. Prayers. Okay, see my screen?
No. Yes.
Yes.
No, yes, yes, no.
Yes.
Okay. Right, let's start with the prayers. Om Agajanana
Martam Vedānta
Maharnisham
Ekdantam Bhaktanam Ekdantam Upasmahe Saraswati Namastuभ्यां Vande Kamarupane Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhirbhavatu Me Sada Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu
Guru Devo Maheshwara
Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Om Sahana Bhavatu
Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvi Namastu
Om
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Vakyakaram Vararuchim
Vakyakaram Vachuchim
Bhashakaram Patanjalim
Bhashyakaram Patanjalim
Paninim Sutrakarancha
Paninam Sutrakarancha
Pranatosmi Munitrayam
Pranatosmi Munitrayam
Athamaheshwara Sutrani
Atha Maheshwar Sutrani
Ayvun
Ayun
Rilak
Rilak
Evong
Eong
Ayauch
Ayauch
Ayavarat
Ayavarat
Lan
Lan
Nyamangananam
Yamangananam
Jabhanya
Jabhanya
Gadadash
Gardash
Jabagadadash
Jabgardash
Kapha Chatatau
Kapha Chatata Chattav
Kapai
Kapaya
Shasasar
Shasasar
Al
Al
Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani.
Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani.
All right. Any questions?
I have a question like this, Ji.
All right, Vipulji, go ahead.
So yes, I was understanding. Is this we are going to go volume 1 and 2? We can exchange through each book. Because last class we were in, then we went to volume 2. Are we going to have the similar thing, or just continue with that same
Yeah,
track?
we are going to continue with volume 1, but there are
Okay.
some terminologies which are described more detail in volume 2 and 3.
Okay, because I was like confused when I heard that, okay, we are going to volume 2, and I said, oh, what
So
happened?
just for reference, that specific page.
Oh, okay.
And we might go, because there's some terminologies come here, and that
Okay.
terminology we are going to spend a lot more time in detail, because that terminology might take the one chapter in book 2 or 3.
Okay, because sometimes I don't carry book 2 with me all the time, so that's the reason I'm asking all this question.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to have the book. Okay.
Yeah.
And then right now I put all the 3 books in the PDF. So if you are in
I understand that.
laptop, you can access that. And all of us have the same version or the same edition, so the page number should match.
Yes.
Okay. And I will talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
About cross references.
Yes.
Okay,
Hello.
I assume that whoever are going to join have joined, because I want to discuss a few things.
I have, this
yeah.
is Ram. I have a question, please.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of Jai Shri Ram. Now, is it Shri or it is Sri Ram? Which one is correct in Sanskrit?
It is Shri. Okay. Now, the 3 shakaras, when we speak, it is easy to confuse unless you are watching the lips. The 3 shakaras, I think I highlight it all the time, even in the pronunciation class. The Jai Shri Ram, the Shri is the same as Shankara, Shiva, that Sha.
Okay.
That is what is called Talavya Sha.
Okay.
Okay. If you listen carefully, the difference is easy to make out. The simple Sa is the Saraswati Sa, written with just S in English.
Okay.
Okay, that is Saraswati Sa, the simplest. Because in English transliteration, you use the simplest or most frequently used letter as the simplest one. Okay, unless there is some other pronunciation things.
Okay,
that is the simple Sa or the Saraswati Sa. We call it, most of the teachers give an example. So it is Saraswati Sa. Okay.
Okay.
The next is what is called the Murdhanya. It's not next in the sense, in Panini Sutras, the Śāṅkara Sha or the Shakti Sha comes first. Okay. The Śāṅkara, Shakti, that is the Talavya Sha. Śāṅkara, Shakti, Shiva,
Yes.
all those things. Okay, the Shanti, all those things are Talavya.
Okay.
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 So in the prayer page, you can look at some of those words. This Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That Sha is the Shankara Sha, Shiva Sha, Shakti Sha. This is the Talavya Sha. Okay. The next in the order is the Shanmukha Sha, which is like ma vidvishabhai. See here, vishabhai. See, you're generally in most scripts is it pa and a cross. The same in Devanagari also. That is how it is written. That is the Shanmukha Sha. Now this is Murdhanya or retroflex. When you pronounce this, the tongue has to roll backwards and you should hear a little bit of a whistling sound. Okay, because the tongue rolls back, the air comes on either side of the tongue, makes a whistling sound. So that is the Shanmukha Sha. The simplest one, which comes last in the Panini Sutra or the Yaralava also, our normal Matrika Pata also that comes last is the simplest Sa. We generally give the example of Saraswati because 2 Sakaras there, both are simple Dantyasas. Did I make it clear?
Yes. So it is the first Sha is Shri.
Yeah, Shri is the first Sha.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's the Shankara, Shakti, Shanti, Shri, all those things are the same Shakara.
Okay, thank you.
In the Shri, of course, it is just the Sh immediately followed by Ra. It's a compound consonant. So it is the Śāṅkara-bhāṣya immediately followed by Repa.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
good
you.
question. And actually, it should not be, this doubt should have been cleared much earlier, because, the problem is sometimes you write in English with SRI.
Yes, that's the problem.
Right, that is the problem. So you just
Right.
pronounce. Only some people write SHRI or SHREE, which makes you the pronounce exactly.
Yes.
And if you are writing in transliterated Devanagari, you write S with the apostrophe on top, comma on top, which makes it the Shakti Shah,
Shakti.
and R, then I dash. I dash makes it Re. So it is a Shri.
Oh, yes.
So, okay, that is how you write it. You can see in transliterated Arshavidya books, you will see it that way.
Okay.
Okay, any other question?
Jagadisha ji,
Yeah.
on that same note, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, or is it Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Ram?
Okay. Now, this prayer has been, that depends on whether you are speaking Hindi or Saṁskṛta.
Okay.
Okay. So, if you are speaking in Saṁskṛta, you have to say Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. It is not Jai Jai. It is not I. It is Yakara, full.
Okay.
Okay. In Saṁskṛta, there is no Jai. Okay. It
Okay.
is Jaya. Okay, full. That too, Jaya is full, not Halantya Ya. So
Okay.
in Saṁskṛta, if you are writing it, you have to write Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. But when you are Hindi, because this is most chanted like in Hindi, so they write it Shri Rama, Jai Rama. A lot of people write it Jai Rama, Ja and I on top. The two horns on top, like with
Okay.
Vishnu.
Okay.
Okay. So, and because in the north, if when they write it as Rama, they pronounce it as Ram, right?
Right.
Okay. So, in a lot of cases, sometimes people ask questions about this also, like some bhajans, Sri Ramachandra Kripalu. Now, that is, if it is in Saṁskṛta, then you have to write and pronounce like Saṁskṛta, but rarely popular singers do that.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Now,
this
if it is something coming from Tulasi Ramayana, then it is in Awadh or a colloquial or Hindi. Then it's okay to say Ram.
okay.
So even though the script is same, language is the pronunciation for the same script, pronunciation differs when you pronounce it as Saṁskṛta or as Hindi.
Okay. But this Rama is not to be confused with the Rama Shabda.
It's the same Rama Shabda, but in the Rama Shabda, if it is, if you are addressing Rama like Sambodhana directly, then there is no Visarga.
Okay. Because
Okay.
I
So
think
this most likely Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, most of the times it is Hindi, because if you Sri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, you will be a few milliseconds slower than the rest of the group.
Okay. But I think I got confused because last week I think you said something about when we were studying about the vibhaktis. We had au plus Rama equals Rama, but Rama is not a shabda by it's not a word by itself.
Yes. Okay. So Rama is a word. It appears without any visarga or anything, only in Sambodhana Pratama, which is vocative singular.
Okay.
Akaranta Pullinga Shabdas, in the Sambodhana Pratama only.
Okay.
Okay. There is no visarga or anything.
Okay.
Okay. Rama as a pratipadika should not be used. If you only place where Rama appears as it is in Sambodhana. That generally happens only in Akaranta Pullinga.
Okay. So Rama, the name becomes Ramaha.
Ramaha. If you are telling somebody about Rama, Ramaha Gacchati. We will talk about that in next page.
Okay.
As an example. Okay. Couple of other general things, not the textbook, general things I wanted to discuss from some feedbacks I got over the weekend. I think there are a few students in the class who are maybe not exposed to some of the terminologies, Saṁskṛta grammar terminologies, haven't heard them at all. So I was asked if I use those Saṁskṛta terminologies, then as much as possible, can you give the English equivalent also? I will remember to do that. And yeah, I have to do that because, this class is not very monolithic. There's people with different levels of understanding or also readability are there. Some people making a very putting in a lot of effort because they just learned how to read the Devanagari. So they are putting in a lot of effort, and I appreciate all that. So I will do whatever, as I mentioned in the very first class, I will do whatever is needed to get everybody on track. Okay. And like the example, this person is not in this class, but she knows a couple of people who in this class. So this may be feedback from them to her. So she is in my another class, so she just conveyed that to me. So I will pass that along. For example, things like I say upasarga, and sometimes I might have told upasarga is equivalent to prefix because it comes before the main content of the word. Like if there is a dhatu, there may be a prefix. This I mentioned several times because I give the example of stand and prefix under. So understand becomes a totally different meaning compared to stand. Okay. And even if suppose you didn't know what I said a Saṁskṛta word is, please stop me and get clarified. Okay. It is not rude. And as long as multiple people are not talking at the same time, I appreciate that because it is better to clarify that because otherwise the next sentence you may not understand. Okay. I try to get away from that, but in the first few classes, a few times that word is used, it is better to give the English equivalent. Sometimes there may not be good English equivalent because, for example, it letter, I say it letter. Indicatory letter is sometime indicatory letter or pointer letter is the closest because the concept of it letter is not there in English grammar at all. This is specific to some Paninian grammar. Not even all other prior grammarians had that. Okay, so it's a new concept Panini used, and it's a very, very handy tool. But whenever it is available, I try to get it. And if you are following the book closely as we are progressing, Medhaji sometimes most of the times gives the English equivalent compared to the Saṁskṛta equivalent. So in that, when you find that one, you can find the equivalent there. And then maybe over that, you can write the Saṁskṛta word I say. Okay, like for example, prefix, if I say upasarga, you can write it above the prefix so that next time you see, you have a ready dictionary in your books itself. Just pencil it in. Same way, if I say dhatu, you can say verb root. I generally say dhatu, and I use the square root sign also to save space. So all these things. And if you're not clear, just stop and ask the question, get it clarified. And as long as multiple people are trying to talk at the same time, I'm fine with that. Okay. So don't worry that it is not good manners or anything. And then
what is the Sanskrit word for suffix?
Suffix is pratyaya.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes in English, they use 3 words. Actually, for suffixes, in Saṁskṛta, we have a word, sometimes in English, they use affix and suffix. Okay. In Saṁskṛta, there is only one word, pratyaya. The reason is affix is something you add anywhere in the word. Okay, not the beginning. You can add the middle also, because in Saṁskṛta there is a pratyayas sometimes come in join in the middle also. Whereas suffix generally comes only at the end. Okay, so sometimes people use the word affix for pratyaya, because pratyayas are two types that come in the middle and the end. So affix is more appropriate, because then you don't have the idea that, oh, why it's not at the end? Okay, any other questions about terminologies?
Is that interfix?
I haven't heard that interfix. Okay, but there's a word affix which is generalized. Suffix is a special case of affix. Any other words? Let's get that one clear. So don't hesitate if you didn't exactly get the concept. If they get the concept from the Sanskrita word, then you don't need an English meaning. The whole idea is to get the idea of what is discussed. Names might change. And sometimes English may not have the right word for this, and sometimes Sanskrita may not have a right word for some English grammar word. Okay, that is item 1. Item 2, about the textbooks people have bought from Arshavidya Gurukulam bookstore, not the Amazon, Arshavidya bookstore. And I had 2 or 3 people tell me that there are some of the books do not have all the copies. I think there something might have happened when they copied and binded in one day. So I talked to Prasannaji in the bookstore. So she is aware of that. So what she suggested is whoever got that problem, email her. Email address is avpbooks1@gmail.com. Okay, whoever have the problem, just note it down. Unless, if you're paying a visit to Arshavidya, the bookstore, then it's fine. avpbooks1@gmail.com. And tell her the problem and give her in the email your home shipping address so she can ship the right book. I also asked her to get maybe 20 copies of the original books, not Xeroxed and spiral bound. Okay, original books. And people who have bought the original books from Amazon will not have any issues.
Jagdish ji,
Yeah.
I was one of the people who was having problem last time, but I think it was my mistake. Actually, the book with the blank tables is an exercise book.
Okay.
And I did have the other book as well, but somehow in a hurry, I pulled out the exercise one and not the real one.
Okay, so the real textbook is all right. All the pages and tables are there.
Everything is just fine.
Okay.
So I think
but people did have the problems.
Yeah, so I think the people who might have that problem with blank tables, that's just an exercise for homework.
Okay.
No, Jagadish ji, actually the print in some of the tables is so fine that we cannot even see the letters. This is not an exercise book.
Yeah, it's
in the regular text.
If you have an issue, what you have does not match with the PDF we have in the Google Drive, because I put all the 3 books in the Google Drive. So you compare the PDF, the quality. The PDF is I downloaded I think in December. So or before the beginning of the class. So they are the PDF of the latest one that is available in arsha-avinash.in. Okay. If the hard copy you have is any different than the PDF, then let her know and get a replacement. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Darshit.
All right. That is number 2. Now, let's go back to the page I was on. Okay. So when we were on this page, see why this is to answer Vipul's question. Why I went back to certain sections of volume 1 is because a word came, subantam, a word tiṅantam came. Okay. And a word pada came. Now all these things are defined and discussed in lot more details, multiple pages. In the subantam and tiṅantam is the topic in the whole of book 1. Okay, so there's a lot of discussion on this. But at this stage, what you're interested in, where did the word subantam come and how did it come? Okay.
Yeah.
So my idea here is to just explain what does subantam mean. You know what anta is. Anta is end. That means what is sub or sup mean. That is why I brought this up, so that you just, I just don't want you to take subantam as just another word without attached meaning. Okay, it is attached. It's a very well basis. That's why I'm trying to get what the exact definition of what subantam mean, what tiṅanatas mean, what sup means, what thing means. And for understanding purposes and translation purpose, subanta means a noun word. Okay. And tiṅanata means a verb word. Anta is end. So sup is a type of suffixes or pratyayas. Okay. So sup pratyayas gives the different pratyayas. Okay. So what is given here is sup pratyaya. Where did the sup pratyaya come? Subanta means that word which has a sup pratyaya or nominal suffix at the end of it. So sup pratyaya ante at the end of, yasya end of which is subanta. So subanta is a noun word. How do you identify that? It ends with one of the 21 sup pratyayas. The sup pratyayas are listed here. Okay, you don't have to by heart it. I told that in the email, in the WhatsApp group. You don't have to by heart it. At this stage, I am showing this only to show what sup means. So you are already aware of the pratyahara procedure, how to make abbreviations. So sup pratyayas are 21 pratyayas or suffixes, 3 corresponding to each of the 7 case endings. Okay, another terminology. Case in English is referring to vibhakti. Okay, when you say vibhakti in Saṁskṛta, the English equivalent is case or nominal case, and sup pratyaya is the case ending. Okay, pratyaya is at the ending. So sup pratyaya is case ending. You can see case here, and because this is in Devanagari, I have a tendency to say pratyaya. Okay. And whenever I see the word case, I have the tendency to say pratama vibhakti. But after 2-3 times, you have to be able to correlate. Okay. I think in my native language and in Saṁskṛta. Okay. So first case means pratama vibhakti, the second case dvitiya vibhakti, tritiya vibhakti. All these things, the contents are not necessary now. We are going to spend more time when you come to book 2. Right now, this is shown in detail only to show that where does the word sup come from? Where does the word subanta come from? Okay. Even the sup is not relevant here, but the subanta word came up. Okay. Where did it come up? It came up sup tiṅantam padam. What is a word? Panini defines word. Okay, another meaning. Padam equivalent is word. Okay, so Saṁskṛta word for Saṁskṛta equivalent for the verb, for the word in English is padam. According to Panini, there are only 2 types of words, or all the words in Saṁskṛta can be grouped under 2. They are either subantam, or the noun words, or tiṅantam, or verb words. Okay. So nominal suffixes, translation is sup pratyayaha. Okay. This should have been pratyayaha because suffixes plural. Okay. So there are 21 of those. The first one is the su. And you take the first letter of the list of contents and add the ith letter of the last one. That is the procedure of making pratyahara or abbreviation. That is why we got sup pratyayas. So a sup pratyaya you add to any of the noun base. Again, noun base or noun stem or nominal stem. The Saṁskṛta word for that is pratipadika. Okay. Here Rama is pratipadika. Rama plus su, first pratyaya, will become Ramaha. Okay. Rama plus am, 6-3. Okay. Rama plus am becomes Ramanam. There are multiple steps. Some 2 or 3 additional steps are there. Rama plus stup, the last one, 7-3, okay, will give you Rameshu. Okay. Now, is this clear about, your understanding is clear about what sup pratyayas are and what subantam? Just the name part.
Yeah.
7 case endings and 3 pluralities, singular, dual, plural. So 7 times 3, you have 21 vibhaktis. Okay. In English, you say Rama, from Rama, to Rama, because of Rama, for the benefit of Rama. All those things are built into the same word by the addition of pratyayas. The pratyayas contains the meaning, or pratyayas or suffixes, contain the meaning, depending on which pratyaya you're talking about, contains the meaning of, from, because of, and again, singular, plural, all those things are there. Once you use this, for example, if somebody says Ramanam, then you immediately know that it is plural and it is 6th vibhaktis of Ramas. Okay. And suppose somebody says Rame, then you know that it is Saptami vibhakti ekavachana, in Rama. Okay. So once you use that, right now we are one book before that, because this will come later on. Here it is used.
So Jagdishji, we have to by heart this?
Not now. I'm telling you, not now. No.
Okay. We just need to remember.
Now,
for example, if you look at first case, plural, Ram plus just, it becomes Ramaha.
Yeah. So I think you're the one who asked the question last time, right?
No, Jagdishji.
Okay. Somebody asked the question about the nti, z pratyaya. That is why I am bringing this up. That you don't have to by heart this. And later on, when we come to the book 2, you may have to by heart some of this, like most common ones. Akaranta Pullinga. There are a lot of names with the A ending masculines. Okay. So common is Rama Shabda. If you know Rama Shabda, Shiva, Parameshwara, Ishwara, all those things behave the same way because the Rama. And generally, the next one is Ikaranta Pullinga, Hari, Ravi, all those things. So you may have to by heart when we come to book 1, not now. Okay. Next. Okay. So that is about Subantam. Any questions about what a Subanta Pada means? That's all we want to know now. And where did the name come from? Okay, that means there is no question. Now let's go to Tiṅanta Pada.
That's basically noun plus suffix.
Okay, Subanta is a noun word. Means you can use it in the sentence.
Yeah.
Okay. Subanta is a noun base or noun stem plus one of these pratyayas.
Yeah.
Jagdishji,
now here what happened is before this there is a word Rama plus. So I just cut it out because I can see it takes too much space. So here and to the left of it there was a word Rama plus this table equals this table.
Subanta. Yeah.
Yes.
Jagdish, you have a question?
The Pratipadika plus sup pratyaya gives you a Subanta usable word. Pratipadika cannot be used by itself. Pratyaya cannot be used by itself, but the combination should be used.
Jagdish, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
So I have a question. So the nominal suffixes, are they the same for Akaranta Pullinga, Ikaranta Pullinga?
I mentioned this last class. Suffixes are same, but when they react with different Pratipadikas, the gender of the Pratipadika and in the ending Varna of the Pratipadika will decide on the final form here. Okay, you imagine it like this. Suppose the Pratipadika, we are looking at, suppose we're looking at a chemical reaction. Let's say the Pratipadika is hydrogen, H. Now, depending on what it is reacting with, whether it's oxygen, chlorine, bromine, what is reacting with, the final product will be different even though the cation is hydrogen itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In any chemical reaction, if the one of the reactant is same, but the other reactant varies, the final chemical you get varies. Always. Same thing here. Okay. Same pratipadika, different vibhaktis, you get different subantas. Different pratipadika, same sup pratyaya, you get different subanta. Like for example, Sita plus Su will end up with Sita only in the Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachana. Sita plus Au will become Site. Okay. Different rules apply because the Pratipadika change.
Jagdish ji,
that question?
I have one question. Is it called just Pratipadika or Pratipadikam?
Oh, it is the same thing. Pratipadikam is, I am using the word Pratipadika is without the gender or Vibhakti attachment. Because it's a Napumsakalinga. If I use it in the Prathama Vibhakti, it will be Pratipadikam.
Padikam, yes, okay.
Now, generally what we do is, when you are talking in English, just putting that one word of Saṁskṛta, we generally tend to use the Pratipadika.
Yes.
But if you're in Saṁskṛta sentence, it is illegal to use Pratipadika. But when you are putting in the middle of an English sentence, you are not bound by that rule.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there nominal stem? Is there a library of it? How do we know?
Oh, yeah, there is hundreds of them. Because any name, there are millions of Pratipadikas or let me say, indefinite number of Pratipadikas in Sanskrita. Because you can make new one of them every day. Whoever wants, you can make one by adding earlier Pratipadikas. Okay?
So what makes it a stem? What is the identifier to say this is a stem, this is not a word?
Okay, that means it defines a person or an object. Just like any noun. What does a noun represent? It is a name given to something, right? Something or some person.
So how did we know that Rama is a stem? It's not really a word. How do you look at it and say that?
Okay, if you come across the word Rama in any literature while reading, then it can only be the Sambodhana Pratama. I didn't put that in here, Sambodhana Pratama. Anywhere else, in a Sanskrita literature, you should not get word Rama. You should get one of these 21. If you get the word, and there, if you get Rama, then generally they attach some addressing remarks like Hey Rama or O Rama or Hi Rama, something like that. Otherwise, just the word Rama will not be used. It is used only as addressing Rama.
Also, never in our Sanskrit literature you'll see the word Rama by
Rama itself, unless, suppose, in the prayers or bhajans, if you are praising Rama to somebody else, then the word Rama doesn't come. But if you are praising Rama himself or talking directly to Rama or praying directly to Rama, not singing his glory, directly to Rama, then only you use the word Rama because the prayer is directly addressing him. Okay. Hey Rama Mamuddhara. Hey Rama, please protect me.
Okay. So just my question is still hanging in that. How do you look at a word like Rama for a noun? To say
I think Rama is not a complete word by itself.
Yeah. So suppose you pick one of these words. Now, what is your question? Is your question about Subantam or the Pratipadika Rama? Let me clarify that.
Pratipadika, which is nominal stem, right?
Right.
That's my question. When somebody's, if I look at a word, how do I know it is a nominal stem or not? And that was my question. Is there a way to figure it out?
You can look up Sanskrita dictionaries. Because if it is, most of the words you already know.
Okay.
Okay. You should not ask this question for this. Rama, Shiva, Lakshmana, or lot of other nouns we already know because of what we have heard in the stories, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita, or stories or Vikramaditya stories, Betala stories. We have heard those names.
Okay.
If you didn't hear for the first time, check one of the Saṁskṛta English dictionaries like Apte or something like authentic dictionaries.
Oh,
Don't just Google. Google will give all kinds of things.
okay, thank you.
Okay?
Jagdish, one more question.
And all those useful dictionaries, I put in the useful websites or something in one of the pages, miscellaneous maybe.
Okay.
Go to one of those dictionaries. If you are comfortable with the Saṁskṛta dictionaries, then it is all the better because they usually explain how did the Pratipadika come about, what is its meaning. Okay. So Rama comes from the root word Ram to enjoy, or because Ram has the meaning of the pleasing one.
Yes,
so
thank you.
if you are trying to get what the meaning of a Pratipadika, dictionaries are the source. Most of the things we already know, even though we don't know the etymology of the word, you know that it is addressing a person or a thing. Okay, so if you come across a word like pushpa, that is flower, pushpam, it is napumsakalinga. So it is again a name, it is a Pratipadika representing something else. Flower. Did I answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, what's the next question? Chayaji has a question.
Jagdish,
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So the question is, these nominal suffixes, are they also derived based on some rules? Or are they just given?
No, like I answered for something else. So Panini and prior grammarians, they found out what is the commonality between words like this. Okay, let's suppose, say they come across lists, they come across in the Vedic time names like Indraha, Agnihi, Varunaha, maybe later on Ramaha, Krishnaha, all those things. You read that sentence. So the sentence thinks that, okay, this is, if it is the Ramaha, Shivaha, Agnihi, that is the way use formed. Then that is used in the sense of Kartrupada in the sentence. So if it is a Kartrupada and it is a one person doing it, because the action, in the sentence, the verb word will match the number. So if it is a Kartrupada and Pratama Vibhakti or singular, then it is Pratama Vibhakti. So they picked out or listed all these things, find out what is the commonality. Okay, is it ending with akara? The Pratipadika ending with akara. Pratama Vibhakti is always Visarga. So they made a rule and made a pratyaya. Okay, this must be coming from the su pratyaya, Ramas. And after some change, it will become Ramaha. Because any sakaranta at the end, if it is the end of the word, it will become Visarga. Certain rules. So that is how they came up with appropriate Pratipadik, appropriate pratyayas and made the connecting rules of connection between the two, what steps it has to go through, and how you end up with the subanta form. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I have one question, Jagdish. The
Yeah.
Pratipadika is akaranta Pulinga Shabda or Napunsankalika?
Oh, Pratipadikam.
No, Pratipadika.
Yeah, itself is Napumsakalinga Shabda.
Okay.
Okay. Again,
And we can
is
say
just,
that it is a base, not a root, right?
No, root is dhatu.
Yes.
Okay.
And for
Now,
name,
when you say you use the word root for the verb, the base unit of verb. Okay. Fundamental building block of verb is the root, verb root, which is called dhatu in Sanskrita.
And for nama?
For the nama pada, the base unit, base building block, all the things are added to, is Pratipadika.
And what is the Sanskrit name for base?
No, there is no Sanskrita name. Base.
Okay.
Base is the word you use, the nominal base and the verbal base.
Okay.
Okay. Nominal base is Pratipadika, verbal base is dhatu.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, one quick question. So you have the subantam table for Rama.
Yeah.
It will be different for Sita, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Do we have an example for table for that one? How do you Sita, Krishna, that becomes a feminine gender?
Oh, so see, Krishna and Rama and Krishna will have the same way.
Yeah, Krishna.
Krishna, if it is Strilinga, if you're referring to Draupadi, then it will behave like Sita Shabda.
Okay. So
because both of them, only two things you have to see. What is the gender? What is the ending? Okay, so, Draupadi, Krishna, and Sita or Rama, they all end with akaras because they are akarantas Strilinga. All the akarantas Strilingas behave the same way.
So do we have a similar table for the Sri Lanka?
Oh, there's a lot of tables in volume 2.
Volume 2, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will take it.
Too many tables. Don't get scared. That is the warning I give you. That when we are in book 2, don't open the book 1 and see, oh, there are so many vibhaktis. Do we have to remember Pitru Shabda, Guru Shabda, Hari Shabda, all those things?
Okay,
not at this stage.
Thanks for the warning, yeah.
But if you're curious, they're there. You can glance through that and see that.
Okay.
But there's no need to by heart. Right now, I am using presenting this only to clarify what subantam means and what tiṅantam means.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think I'm clear about what subantam is. Now let's see what the tiṅantam is. Because sup tiṅantam padam. Padam the words are only two types. Either they are noun words, subantam, or verb words, tiṅantam. So let's go to tiṅanta words, okay? Now, tiṅanta, I said, they have 18 pratyayas. Why 18? All the dhatus are classified either parasmaipada and atmanepada. We have discussed this earlier and there was questions answered also. But here I added some things. So this tiptas z, okay? So this is 9 plus 9, 18. Here my idea is only this. How did the word ting come from? Where did the word ting come from? This tiṅanta pratyayas, 18 of them are listed here in the table. Okay. So the first pratyaya starts with the ti and the it letter of the last pratyaya is ing. Our nominal procedure. Okay. Take the first of the content and the last letter of the it letter. So you get ting. Okay. So ting pratyaya, a word ending in ting pratyaya is tiṅanta. So tiṅantas can be applied only to the dhatus, verb roots. The tiṅanta pratyayas cannot be used for pratipadikas. Be clear about that. Subanta pratyaya, sup pratyayas can be used only with pratipadika, not with dhatu, because it is noun pratyayas, okay, noun suffixes. Whereas tiṅanta pratyayas are verbal suffixes. Okay, ting pratyayas are verbal suffixes. So they can be used only for on dhatus. So dhatu plus ting pratyaya will give you a tiṅanta. Pratipadika plus sup pratyaya will give you a subanta. You can note down an equation. Sup or the pratipadika plus sup pratyaya equals subanta pada. Dhatu plus ting pratyaya gives a tiṅanta pada. And there are only two types of padas. And some, if you are aware of that, you can ask if there are questions about, there are things called anvayas which do not attach, which stay in the same form. But they are still called subantams, where they say the pratyayas do not affect the form. Okay. So here, ting, now you know what ting is. I have clarified it further in another step. Okay, so if you take out some of the it letters and things out, the ending, how it ends will be like adding a ti, taha anti. Pratama purusha ekavachana is ti, ends with the ti, so the ending forms of a dhatu. Pach is the dhatu. Pach is to cook. Okay, so pachati, pachataha, pachanti. You can see the ending ti here. Okay. You want to see the ending ng here because it is it letter. Okay. Now, somebody asked the question earlier, maybe Ram or somebody else. How do you know there's a it letter or not? Okay. Again, the it letters are discussed in great detail in page 14, because there we are talking about a lot of pratyayas. Okay. Sup and ting are very limited, but when you talk about the pratyayas that convert a verb into noun, like ram dhatu into rama, pratipadika, those kinds of pratyayas are in hundreds. Okay. And when the new noun is derived from an existing pratipadika, one pratipadika derived from another existing pratipadika. For example, the word Pandu is there. Okay, Pandu is pratipadika representing one person. And the word Pandava is the descendants of Pandu or sons of Pandu. So Pandava is a pratipadika derived from a base pratipadika Pandu. By adding certain pratyayas, that pratyaya is another few hundreds. Okay. So what determines an it letter in a pratyaya? For example, here, tiptas z. Okay. Now, is pakara an it letter? Yes. This pa is a it letter and na is a it letter. This tas, sakara is not an it letter. Okay. Pakara is an it letter. This sakara here is not an it letter. And G doesn't have an it letter. Okay. How do we know all these things? Just because you raised the question, I'm answering. What constitutes a it letter, or how to identify an it letter? There are 7 sutras or rules. They are listed in page 14 of volume 3. So whoever asked the question, if you are curious, you can go to that one page. The 7 sutras are discussed, and that tells which letter can be an it letter under what condition. Okay, so there's 7 sutras. If you're curious,
thank you.
can go to that. But when we go to the Panchavrittayaha, like that, Panchavrittayaha is nothing but how the words are derived in English, in Sanskrita. There we will spend a lot more time on it letters, because we have to clarify all about it letters before we go into samasa and these derived nouns, what is the first derivative noun, second derivative noun. At that time, we have to be clarified about it letters. Now I am mentioning that only because somebody asked the question, how do you identify what is it letter? Now here, after this, after stripping all the things, all the contents that add up after all the sandhi rules and everything, is this. That is how you get pachati, pachataha, pachanti. Okay, like that. Okay, so pachudhatu plus mahing pratyaya will give you pachamahe. There may be a few steps. I will show you this because somebody asked that also last time. Okay, I had only up to this, some of the things I added. Okay, subantapada, here is the equation. Pratipadikam plus supratyaya. And here is the translation. Okay, all the answers here. Pratipadikam is napumsakalinga. Pratyayaha is pullinga, just by looking at the end. Now, if you know a little bit of pullinga, strilinga, napumsakalinga, you might have heard or read in other classes or attended some other classes in Arsha Vidya, then you know if something is ending as a pratama vibhakti, then it is most likely napumsakalinga. Ending with the visarga, then it's most likely akaranta and visarga. Okay, now here pratipadikam is akaranta napumsakalinga, pratyaya is akaranta pullinga. Here is the equation I talked about. Pratipadika plus supratyaya is subantam padam. Clear? I mentioned the equation earlier without coming to lower part of the page. Same way, dhatu plus ting pratyaya is tingantam padam. Okay. Keep in mind, pratipadikam will not react with the ting pratyaya. Dhatu will not react with supratyaya. Okay, sup is for pratipadika only. Ting pratyaya reacts with dhatu only to give you a verb word or a noun word. Okay, here is, because somebody asked earlier how the words come about. They may not come around in one step. See here, from Rama Pratipadika. As an example, you take the word Ramena. Rama, 3-1. Okay, 3-1 is third vibhakti, ekavachana. So the Pratipadika or the pratyaya is ta.
Ta.
So Rama plus ta.
Ta.
Okay, where did this ta come from? Su-aujas. Okay, the list of the 21. Okay, so this comes in Sutra 412. You don't have to remember anything. Don't worry about this long thing. This is nothing but the 21 pratyayas just all connected to one another. Okay, long, make like a long word. The reason I show it here is take the first of the pratyaya and the last ith letter. Leave out everything else because that is how we make the abbreviations. Okay, that is how sup comes from, sup pratyaya. It's an individual as well as collective. All the 21 are called sup pratyayas. So su is the pratyaya for pratama vibhakti ekavachana, and sup is the word for sup is the pratyaya for seventh vibhakti, saptami vibhakti, bahuvachana. Okay. So then there are some other sandhi rules come in. Okay. So there's a rule which says the ta. So because it is pratama purusha, dvitiya vibhakti, ekavachana, 1, 2, 3, pratama vibhakti. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, dvitiya vibhakti is done. So this is tritiya vibhakti. Okay. So because we are adding tritiya vibhakti to Rama, so Rama, so there is a rule that says if that is vibhakti pratyaya is ta, then you add ina. Rama plus ina becomes ramena, guna sandhi. And then there is another sutra, when a word like a letter like Rama is there in the same word, then na will become na. Okay. And all these things we will talk about in the sandhi part. Okay. Now this two sutras we are going to discuss in the sandhi part. Okay. The first one we will talk about in the vowel sandhi or swara sandhi, and the second sutra we will talk about in vyanjana sandhi. Okay. Whereas all these things we may not even discuss how they came about. Okay, because that will be too higher level, beyond the scope of this course. Okay, so now you are clear about how the different words come about. I gave you example only for 1, 3. How to get Rama plus 3, 1 gives you Ramena. So this kind of a sutra is there, or the steps are there for everything. And actually now we are, it is made so easy because if you go to ashtadhyayi.com, then the sidebar, there is a pull down menus. There is a Shabda Patha. Then the Shabda Patha lists all the kind of endings. Akaranta Pullinga, Akaranta Strilinga, Ikaranta Strilinga, all those things. So you go to the combination you want, Akaranta Pullinga, and then it will give you the table, this 7/3 table. In the 7/3 table, if you click on any one that, okay, like if you go to the Ramena Shabda, Ramena in the table in ashtadhyayi.com Shabda Patha, then you will get all these steps. Okay. And you can do that for any of the vibhaktis, of any of the words, any ending, anything. Okay, all the things are arranged in alphabetically, Akaranta Pullinga onwards. Tiṅantapada, again I mentioned, dhatu plus ting pratyaya gives tiṅantapada, verb word, okay? Dhatu is the verb root, ting pratyaya, verb suffix, gives you verb word. Again, here, okay, whenever you make a verb word, the suffix of the verb word, like atitaha, anti, they are packed with information. They tells you whether it is in the current or the Vartamana Kala, it tells about the Kala, it tells about how many people, it talks about whether it's an active voice or passive voice. The pratyaya are loaded with meaning. Like suppose we are trying to get at the first plural, because the person who asked the question asked about the Z, how the Z end up with the nti. That is why I put this up. Okay, pacha, lat lakara, bahuvachana. Okay, lat lakara, pratama vibhakti, bahuvachana. Because we have pachati, pachataha, pachanti. Lat lakara means present tense translation. Pachatihi, one person cooks. Pachataha, two people are cooking. Pachanti, three people are, or three or more people are cooking. So again, you get this lat, vartamane lat. So you take that pratyaya. So from that pratyaya list, you get this G. Okay. So that is what is listed here. Okay. So here, Z. Okay. So that is where you get G. That is somewhere tiptas G. Okay. It is built in here. Okay. So right now I showed this only because where the ting pratyaya came from. Okay. So G, then there is a sutra saying that wherever there is a G, you have to replace with anti. Okay. The Z ityasya antasha adeshaha. So wherever you found the zakara, you replace with anta. Okay. That is how you get. There is another place also where Z and here za also. Okay. So that is how you get. So you don't have to worry about this. Throughout the whole course, we are not going to discuss this detail. Okay. This detail is for a higher level course. Now, that is the third point I wanted to discuss earlier, or the mention. I don't know whether I mentioned in the very first class of this course, but I remember I did mention that when I took the same class in Harshavidya Gurukulam for the 5-week camp. The 5-week camp, we did the same thing, but at much higher pace. Because there, the class number is less, because there was between 10 and maybe 18, 10 to 18 people. And it was a little more monolithic because everybody was exposed a little bit of grammar because they have been attending the camps for a long time. So I could go faster. Okay, here, because as I said, it's not as monolithic, I have to go at the pace where everybody are with me. Okay, so in that case, that class, I said, this is a introductory class, 101 of Saṁskṛta grammar. Saṁskṛta grammar is an ocean, huge ocean, lot of area and lot of depth. What we are doing in this class, we are just touching the waters at different points. Okay, a point here, a supratyaya here, a pronunciation thing there, a little bit of samasa there. So in the ocean, you are getting down to the beach, maybe just ankle high water, or maybe by the end of the course, knee high. But the ocean is deep. Okay, we might mention some words which is good to know its utility, but how it came about, how it works, like these kinds of details is a little higher level. Okay.
Jagdish ji, I have to say something. Like if you try to find the depths of the ocean, the poor dolls like us are going to get merged into that.
Yes. So don't worry at the depth of the ocean. You just see the knee high. Our idea is what? Whenever you come to a 5-week course, Swamiji mentions, okay, this is 6th vibhakti ekavachana. Then you should know, okay, 6th vibhakti ramasya, equivalent to that. Something belonging to somebody. Those kinds of things. Or somebody, he might say, this is the karmani prayoga, kartari prayoga. So those things we will discuss in book 1. Okay, after we are done with this. Yeah. So here the idea is when you are in a class like that, because Swamiji is, because they are covering a topic, they are not going to deep into the grammar, but to drive home the meaning of the word, they may have to tell you something about the grammar a little bit. So if you if you finished all the things sincerely, all the 3 books, you will know enough without any question. You know, attend the class and understand and study and ask questions and discuss. You will not have any problem in any of our classes. Okay, not even Swami TV.
I have a question. I just heard you pronounce tiptas G. Is it Z? It's G, right?
It is G.
Yeah.
It is not Z. Okay. For
No,
example,
I know.
English.
It sounded
Yeah.
like G.
Right. English G is like the ja you write and with the dot, because generally it's used in Urdu also. Okay, but here it is ja, JH.
Yeah, that's right. That's G.
Yeah, just like pa, phalam, it is phalam. It is not phalam. It is not F-A-L-A-M. It is P-H-A-L-A-M. Okay. Yeah, let's, I might take a couple more minutes. Let me finish these things. So you know about the word, okay? Subantam and tiṅantam. Then example here, okay? A short sentence. What is a sentence? Sentence is a combination of padas. There will be one or many words in a sentence. The sentence, the Saṁskṛta word for sentence is vakyam. Saṁskṛta word for word is padam. Okay. Saṁskṛta word for a letter is a varnaha. Okay. Saṁskṛta word for syllable is a aksharaha. Okay. Akshara may be a varna itself, or the syllable may be a letter if it's a vowel, but it's a combination of varnas if it involves a consonant. Okay, because consonants cannot be pronounced by themselves, they have to be combined with the word, with the vowel. Okay, so sentence is a combination, meaningfully arranged combination of meaningful words. That is true in any language, not specific for Saṁskṛta. And in Saṁskṛta, when it is called a sentence, generally in a sentence, there will be at least one verb. Okay, without a verb, you can't make a sentence. Sometimes the verb may not be mentioned. Like suppose I say, what is your name? Simple word. Okay, is a verb, even in English. Okay, so even when I am asking, bhavataha nama kim, there is no verb word specifically mentioned. Bhavataha is a pratipadika, bhavan, 6 vibhakti, ekavachana. Nama is a naman pratipadika, pratama vibhakti, ekavachana, napumsakalinga. Kim is a question. Okay, that again is a subanta pada. So all of them are subanta pada. But the tiṅanta pada is implied. What is your name? So if you're saying a asti is unmentioned. Bhavataha nama kimasti. What is your name? Okay. But without a verb word mentioned specifically or implied, it's not a sentence. Okay. And you answer, okay. Mama nama Krishnaha. Again, a word implied is asti. My name is Krishna. Okay, the is unsaid in the answer. Okay, now again, all these things I cut and paste. This is from volume 1. They're there in the volume 1. We are going to discuss in detail. But here, because I mentioned in the text, vakyetu sa vivaksham apekshate, right? When the sandhi is necessary, when you are adding a pratipadika to a pratyaya, sandhi is must, mandatory. When you are adding a pratipadika to a dhatu, sandhi is mandatory. When you are adding a prefix, upasarga, to a dhatu, sandhi is mandatory. When you are making a samasa, a compound word, okay, like Bhishma plus Arjuna, Bhishma-Arjunau. From the two nouns, you are making one noun, okay, or Krishna-Arjunau. So at that time, if there is a scope for sandhi, that sandhi has to be made, because Krishna plus Arjuna becomes Krishna-Arjuna. Savarna dirgha sandhi happens. So if you are making a samasa, then there is a scope for sandhi. That sandhi is mandatory. And that Karika said, Vakyetu sa vivaksham apekshate. in a sentence, when two words come together, do you have to make sandhi? Not mandatory. So that means what is vakya? So here I am just explaining the words or defining the words that came up in the pratipadika, karika, mnemonic. Okay, subantam, tiṅantam, padam, vakya. Okay, and I also mentioned briefly what is a samasa and subanta, pradam, pratipadika, all those things we all discussed. Samasa comes at the end of book 3, last section. Okay, samasa, and it's very, very interesting, very, very important also to get the meaning when you are in a class. Okay, so in that context, you have to make the sandhi, whereas in a vakya, you have the option. Okay, now here, padam, prakriti. Now, prakriti is nothing but the base unit. Dhatu or pratipadika, they are collectively called as prakriti. So this is just, let me make it a little smaller so that you can see all the three together. Oops, that is too small. Okay, now you can see all the three. So pratipadika and dhatu, because they are the base units, they are called prakriti or original entity. Okay, pratyaya, not together. So pratyaya, ting pratyaya, collectively called pratyaya. So a base unit plus a pratyaya gives you a word. Okay, so the base, if the base unit is dhatu and pratyaya is appropriate ting pratyaya, then the word you get is a tiṅantam padam. And if the prakriti is a pratipadika and pratyaya is supratyaya, you will get a noun word or subantam padam. Okay, so the word is original entity plus suffix. Original entity, say here, the example is given clearly. Original entity for here is Rama. Rama is the pratipadika. Supratyaya becomes Ramaha. Okay, it is karta. That is why you have to go with the pratama vibhakti. Agent, see, is given here specifically. Agent singular. That is what pratama vibhakti is for. Vanam gacchati. Okay, vana is the pratipadika. Vana is napumsakalinga. Vana. The pratipadika is because this is the karma pada. Where does he go? To the forest. Okay, it is the object of his travel. Singular. Okay, that is how you get the word vanam. Vana pratipadika, here it's a little obvious. Okay, vana plus giving vanam. Now let's come to the verb word. Gam is the dhatu and ti is the pratyaya. Okay, now here you don't, because we are talking about kriya pada. So the vibhakti things doesn't come, case endings doesn't come. Here the first person, second person, or the third person. So third person singular. The pratyaya is ti, as we saw earlier. Pachati, third person singular. Same way gacchati. So dhatu is gam. The final verb word is gacchati because that undergoes some changes. All those in the gam dhatu, because it has to become gaccha. So two more sutras are added. It is not as simple as patha or pach. Okay, so gam dhatu will have two more steps here. You don't have to worry about this now. So I am just giving the idea that vakya and pada, how the pada is derived, how the vakya comes about. Vakya is a meaningful arrangement of meaningful words. And generally, one of the words is kriyapada. It might have one or more nouns or may not even have a noun. Okay, just a verb word can make a sentence. But just a noun word cannot make a sentence unless a verb is unpronounced or hidden or implied. A sentence or vakyam is a unit of expression to communicate an idea. It will have one or more words. Okay, so without a sentence, you can't communicate the idea to the listener. So vakyam consists of padam, of words, padani. Okay, padam is napumsakalinga, plural is padani. Okay, so here, Ramaha vanam gacchati. So, gacchati is kriyapada, vanam is namapada or noun word. Ramaha and vana, both are noun words. Okay, different pratipadikas, different vibhakti endings or pratyayas. And this is the word. The sentence is a unit of Ramaha vanam gacchati. Rama goes to the forest. Now, this to the forest, these three words is built into the pratipadika of vanam. Okay. To the forest is in one word. Vana is the pratipadika. You put a apostrophe on, or the anuswara on top, you get the second vibhakti ekvachan, means to the forest. Okay, vakyam consists of a word, padam, or words, and one of them is kriyapada. Let me see.
Jagdishji, one question. You said
Let me finish this. Let me
okay.
finish this. For example, in the sentence above, there are 3 words and 1 kriyapada. Goes is verb word. Okay. Question.
Yeah, my question was like you mentioned that a noun cannot make a sentence without the presence of a verb, but
Yes.
a verb can make a sentence. Can you give you an example, please, of the verb making a sentence?
Okay, let me say, I will say the word gacchami. Do you understand what is meant?
Yes.
What do you say?
I go.
Yeah, I go. Is it meaningful sentence? I am ready to go. I am walking out. I go.
Yes. Yeah, it is meaningful.
Okay. Now suppose I say just the word, one of the pratipadikas. Okay. I just say the word forest or vanam.
Yeah.
If I say the vanam, is that a meaningful? Does it give you an idea? You might say, vanam what? What happened to the vanam?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is not enough to convey an idea. You just have a word, a forest comes to your mind, but what happened to the forest? Is there a fire or somebody going through that? Or is it deforestation?
Yeah.
It needs more words.
Yeah, I understand that part. But for example, in gacchami, you have the gach, the
gam dhatu.
Gam dhatu.
Yeah.
Which, so gacha, the gam dhatu, so that would be a tiṅanta word, right? Gacchami?
Gacchami is a tiṅanta word. Because in that gam dhatu, the chami, the me at the end indicates about I, the Uttama Purusha. I am the doer of the process of going. And I am doing it now. And I am going alone. All those are built into this word.
Okay. So the pratyayas are going to tell us the vachana,
yes. Because this
the
pratyaya, yes, the pratyaya and vibhakti, we will discuss what they convey. General meaning, special meanings.
Okay.
Same with vibhakti endings. Because these pratyayas of the tiṅantapada and sumantapada is the whole book 1.
Yeah.
Okay. You can just glance through the book. So it's full of tables. That is what makes the book look so thicker. But if you look at the table, it's just this prakriti, basic word, and suitable pratyaya.
Okay.
Okay, let's do the prayer. And I'm in no big hurry. I don't have another class today. So we can answer the questions later. I don't want to miss the prayer. So let's do the prayer. So 1 or maximum 2 of you can join. Oops. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate, purnasya purnamadaya purnameva avashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, again, about the questions. If you have a question, ask in the class. If you think it is very relevant, without clarifying that, you can't continue, ask in the class. If you think it is a question not directly related to what we are talking, but maybe distantly related, then you can post it on the WhatsApp group. Or you can ask in the WhatsApp as a direct message. Also, if you don't want everybody else to know, or if you think other people also can be benefit from your question and the answer if I provide, in that case, you can put it in the public forum in the WhatsApp. But get it answered before the next class, because everything in here, it is like mathematics, as I said. Without knowing addition, you cannot go to multiplication. Okay, so if you are hesitant, you can end the class without the question answered. You can ask in WhatsApp. And if you think it is very relevant, then ask in the class. I won't get offended. And it may be useful for some other people also, especially people who are not attending the class. They cannot ask the question. Okay, keep that in mind. So it's not rudeness. This is fine. The thing is that not multiple people are asking the same question, or multiple people are asking together. Okay, Harsh has a question, I think.
Jagdishji, I have a question. So in this sentence, Ram Vanam Gacchati, so is there a sequence that is there? Like, can we say Ram Gacchati Vanam? Or
okay, 1 second. Now I'm catching on your pronunciation.
Ramaha.
Okay, so because it is specifically written as Ramaha Vanam Gacchati, and in Saṁskṛta there is no silence letters. So if it is written, it is pronounced. Okay, so Ramaha Vanam Gacchati. In Saṁskṛta, the beauty is that because all these prepositions or additions are added in the form of pratyaya to the corresponding noun, the order doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, because you can say Gacchati Ramaha Vanam, means the same thing. Goes Rama to the forest. In English, it sounds so odd. Right. But in Saṁskṛta, it doesn't change the meaning. Okay. Vanam Ramaha Gacchati. You can ask the question, okay, Vanam Kaha Gacchati? Who goes? Rama goes.
Okay. Thank
you.
you.
That privilege is there because all this to forest is one word. There is no back and forth there. Okay. If you change the to in some other place, in English, it will be the forest goes to Rama.
Right.
Okay. That doesn't happen because Vanam, the Ditiya Vibhakti, is attached to Vana only. Pratama Vibhakti is attached to Rama only because it is now it became the integral part of the Subanta Pada.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is why one thing is it gives a lot of freedom for the poets because the word order doesn't match, doesn't change the meaning. So they can place the words anywhere to fit the meters. Okay, generally in the smaller sentences, the 3-letter sentences doesn't matter at all. The order doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Okay, there are 2 other raised hands. I think I answered Sudh, Bhanu and Rajesh.
Namaste, Jagdisha ji. This is Bhanu. 2 questions. You mentioned Kriya Padam. Is Kriya Padam same as Tiṅanata?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little subtle difference which is not important now. Okay.
Okay.
Because Kriya Pada, all Tiṅantas are Kriya Padas. Let me put it that way. But all Kriya Padas may not be called as Tiṅantas. Okay. Like, for example, like Tiṅanta means it is ending with one of these. Okay. Now, suppose I am telling Rama went to the forest. Okay. So, Ramaha Vanam Gatavan. Okay. So, Gatavan comes from the Gam Dhatu, but that Van ending is not here. Okay. So, that is a noun, but indicating the action. If Gatavan is there, the sentence doesn't need another verb. So there Gatavan is the Kriya Pada, but not Tiṅanta, because it doesn't have one of these endings. Get the answer now? Because the Kriya Pada can be made up of, Kriya Pada will consist of a set of these 18 Vibhakti and the Tiṅanta ending, Tiṅanta Padas. And there are some other nouns also. Okay, like Gatavani is one example. It indicates Rama went to the forest, it's the past tense, one person went. All those things are there. But it is not a tiṅanta by definition.
Okay, okay.
Okay?
Thank you. And then the second
Right.
question is, you mentioned about the lingas.
Yeah.
Is there a reference where I can find out like akaranta,
yeah, if you want to find out the vibhakti forms, all the endings and genders.
Yeah, the genders, yes.
Okay, the linga and the ending. Then what you do is, if you want to do that, okay, don't get overwhelmed by it.
Okay.
Okay. If you want, you go to the Ashtadhyayi. The Ashtadhyayi website address is there in one of the references.
Okay.
Okay. And on the right side, let me, we are done with the class. So let me, okay. Do you see a different screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is ashtadhyayi.com. Okay.
Okay.
As you can see here, ashtadhyayi.com. This is a huge treasury of knowledge for Sanskrita students. Huge. And this wasn't there 5 years ago.
Okay.
And this is still being built up. Okay, but it is in a very good state even now. Okay, so some of the things are here. Sutra Pata, this gives you all the every detail of Ashtadhyayi is there, all sutras.
Okay.
Okay, so you go there, it will give you Ashtadhyayi. So type whatever sutra number, okay, 1469, type it, everything about the sutra comes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
If you don't need that, if you can go the first few, you can go by the number, increasing order. Okay. This is for everybody. Even though Bhanu is asking question, this is a useful knowledge. Okay, that is one aspect. Okay, now let's go back. As I mentioned, this is a huge source and very reliable source. Very learned people do this. I think quite a few of them are associated with Darsha Vidya, quite a few are associated with the Vyoma Sanskrita class, and quite a few are freelance teachers. A lot of people will have put thousands and thousands of hours to build this. Next is Dhatu Pata. Dhatu Pata is once you have a Dhatu, all the 18 forms we talked about, and all the 10 senses or the 10, tenses, all will be there. Just to give you an example, okay, click on Dhatu Pata. That is about the Kriyapadas only.
Okay.
So suppose a Bhu Dhatu, okay, Bhu Sattayam, to exist, to be. Okay, you can see that all the lakaras, okay, 10 lakaras, some of this we will discuss. The most useful 4 or 5 lakaras we discuss in book 1. All these are available in that. Okay, so Kartari, so Bhavati, Bhavataha, Bhavanti, all those forms. Okay.
Jagdish, can you go a little bit more into this? This lakara, just so that I can.
Okay, lakaras, you don't have to know now. I don't want to scare anybody.
No, just how to use it, that's all.
Okay, lakara is the verb word, different forms. Okay, you already saw the 18 forms. All these 18 forms will happen in 10 tenses. So there are 180 forms, verbs. Okay, that all the 10 senses are not very important, like present tense, past tense, future tense, and some vidhiling, ashirling, like a blessing form and command form. All those things are important. Like even here, say Bhavati, they went into so much detail. If you click on Bhavati, just like Pachati, click on this Bhavati. Okay, it gives all the steps. Bhu, Sattayam, Dhatu, Bhuadayaha, Dhatavaha. Why is it called Dhatu? It's defined by this. Okay, then you are adding present tense. Okay, you might have seen this when I showed the example Pachati. Okay, this one has one more step than that. Okay, this Bho plus A is not there in Pachati. It is much simpler. That is why I took that example. So all this, what other detail you want to know about?
That's all. I just was wondering how to use it because I'm a little aware of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are looking for kartari active voice, you put kartari. If you're looking for passive voice, bhava karmanoho.
Okay. That's what.
Okay. And then lot of other things. What are the upasargas can generally go with the bhudhatu, like anubhava, prabhava, all those things. So you click on that, you will give that. From bhudhatu, how the primary nouns are generated. They'll be on kṛdanta. Okay.
Wow.
Jagadisha ji, can you go to the prayogaha? On the right, there's a prakriya and
prayogaha are nothing but the examples found in literature. Okay, so in the literature, that bhavati, where could have been used, or one of the forms of bhavati. See, bhavati uta, that bhavati word is used in Bhagavad-Gītā 240. Okay, the bhavati used in Raghuvamsha in some sentence. So this prayoga is where it was used.
Examples, okay.
Okay, just that. It's may not be very useful, but suppose somebody asks a question where it is used, you can get that. Especially not for bhavati, but one of the very uncommon lakaras, then this may be useful.
Jagdish, the other title. So, kartari and bhava karmanoho, and what is that? Sanante?
Okay, bhava karmanoho is the passive voice.
Okay.
Okay, bhava is for intransitive verbs. Karma, this is kartari. Karmano is the karmani prayoga, bhave prayoga.
What about sanante? Is it sanante?
Oh, yes. You don't want to get into that.
All right.
Okay, we will talk about that when we come to book 3.
All right.
Okay, we are not missing this. See, we will talk about sananta, we will talk about nijanta, we will talk about yanganta briefly. We will talk about a lot more about kṛdanta. We will talk about upasarga. Okay, and these two are references where they are used. Okay, so we won't get into this. But these things we will go detail, or these in some detail we say where it is used, what context, all those things. Now coming back to the question, I went into this Ashtadhyayi. So go to Ashtadhyayi when you have a specific question, look for that reference, because it is the ocean, as I mentioned. Don't get scared by the height of the waves and depth of the ocean. Just go up to the knee and don't get drowned. So that is a warning, don't get drowned.
There's no lifeguard.
To the lifeguards also go only up to certain depth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, even the lifeguards. And if the waves are so high, with his own floater, he can't bring 2 people down to the shore. Okay, what we are talking about is why we got into this is Shabda Patha. Okay, I mentioned this in the Pratipadika. You can see Akaranta Pullinga. Okay, that is A. Is used for Vishnu or whatever. Okay, here is our Rama Shabda. Okay, click on Rama. It will give all the 21 forms.
Yeah.
And then suppose you want to find out, say the Ramayana. That is how I got that. I didn't type all those things. See, all the things are here. Okay, so pratyaya ta is the tritiya vibhakti ekavachana. Okay, now suppose you want something else, dvivachana. Okay, os, somewhere here os comes. So
how do you find out if a word, a subantam pada is pullinga or the linga?
Okay, do you know Rama is pullinga?
Of course.
Of course. Do you know Sita is strilinga?
Yes.
Okay, so that's it.
No, in other words, no. What I'm talking about is if there is a word somewhere that I want to know what is the link.
Unknown, you haven't come across earlier.
Yes.
Okay. Then what you do is, I like this, 9:30, 7:30 and people are still in the class.
Saṁskṛta is addicting.
Okay. Then there are lots of dictionaries which are available in the same site. Okay. So you go to this Koshanveshaha. Okay. this is a collection of multiple dictionaries. So you will get overwhelmed and you should know how much detail you want. So you go to only those dictionaries. Like suppose you want to know the gender and etymology of a word. Then the good source of the things listed here is Shabda Kalpadruma. Okay. Now let's say one word. What word you want to, what Pratipadika you have in mind?
Oh God, I'm always stuck with Pratipadika. Now you ask me, I can't remember.
No, you said...
I know. When I'm reading something, I want to know. Right now, I can't right away think now that you asked me.
Okay, then if you don't know, make one up. Or somebody else will make one up for you. Premji, what Pratipadika? Premji might have gone.
Okay, let's see.
Chinta.
Let's say. Chinta. You write C-I-N-T capital A.
Okay.
Okay, the word came. Okay. This Amarakosha gives you all. Amarakosha is a thesaurus. Okay, it is not a dictionary. So Amarakosha gives you words of similar meaning. Okay, Abhyankara Vyakarana Koshaha. So Shabda Kalpadruma will give you most details. But Shabda Kalpadruma is an English or the Saṁskṛta dictionary. So I go to Shabda Kalpadruma very often. Chinta, Strilinga, even there. Okay. So Shabda Kalpadruma and Vachaspatyam, they are similar and they will give you the etymology, but both of them are in Saṁskṛta. So if you can understand that, that is fine. Okay. Now, Pum will be Pullinga, Stri will be Strilinga, Kli will be Napumsakalinga. Okay? Klibalinga. They won't put Napum because of the 2-3 letters, save space. Okay. So Chinta, Chintanam. Okay. So Chinta generally in other languages, Chinta has a negative meaning like worry. Whereas Saṁskṛta, Chinta is thinking. Okay. Or contemplating, thinking deeper on one thing.
So can you go through this Shabda
Kalpadruma. Okay, Chinta. This is the word you asked for, which will highlight. Strilinga. Chintanam, the process of thinking. Okay. Chiti Chintayam, where the dhatu come from. Dhatu, the base dhatu is Chit. Okay.
Chit, right?
Yeah, Chit. Okay. And Chintayam is the meaning. Okay. And this dhatus you can see in the yellow book. We have the reference of Dhatu Pata yellow book.
But here it doesn't tell you what the dhatu is, does it?
Yeah, this is Chiti. This is the dhatu.
Chiti.
Okay, so I am taking my pink book out. So for that you have to know the dhatu. So the pink reference to pink book.
You have to know it, yeah.
You have to know the dhatu.
Anga, Chintanam.
Okay, Chiti. To think, to consider. Okay, so Chiti, it has the it letter at the end. Okay, so the dhatu is the used form of dhatu is chint.
Chint.
Yeah, okay, after stripping of the it letters and there are some other changes, chint is the dhatu. And all the changes that come about is because of this Panini Sutra 33105. That sutra deals with some form change of dhatu. Okay, so this chint dhatu is added with ang pratyaya to get chinta. Okay, why this ang pratyaya? This sutra will tell you. Chint dhatu will go with this pratyaya to generate the noun chinta. Okay, some meanings: chintana, chintanam, tatparyaha. Paryaya means alternatives. Smriti, adhyayanam. Iti Amarakosha. Amarakosha is equivalent words. Okay, adhyayanam, dhyanam.
Jagdishji, for example, this sutra number, I'm not interested in the numbers, but this sutra would just give the meaning of the chint chinta?
No,
Or
this sutra is telling chint dhatu, why did it take ang pratyaya?
Okay.
Okay, dhatu plus pratyaya will give you a noun, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
in the meaning of thought or thought process.
Okay.
Okay, think is to think, pure dhatu. You cannot use pure dhatu. You have to add a pratyaya.
Pratyaya, yes.
In tiṅanta you use ting pratyaya, here you use a krit pratyaya. So ang is one of those krit pratyayas. When we come to book 3, we will talk about these different kinds of pratyayas. Ang
So
is
in
one of the pratyayas which generates a noun from a dhatu.
Yeah. So in other words, there could be another dhatu to which we can add this ang pratyaya.
For sure, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So Jagdish, how in this, so how has it indicated that the dhatu is chint? Is my question. Has it indicated?
Okay. This chiti, this is the dhatu.
Doesn't say anything.
It doesn't say that. You know, if I am saying that, I will put a square root sign here.
No, that's what I was saying. Okay.
Okay.
Jagdishaji, in 2 questions.
Yeah.
Shabda kalpa drumaha. That is that thesaurus or dictionary?
It's a dictionary because it's a dictionary and lot more. See, the dictionary, even in English dictionary, they will give you a root and the meaning, and they will tell you what is attached to that. The similar thing is done here.
Okay. Now, when I look at the dhatu kosha in this for chinta, there are 2 root words. One is chit and one is chint.
Okay. The chint is the one you have to take because sometimes the similar sounding dhatus will be there, and sometimes it may be confusing because sometimes for the same meaning there may be 4 dhatus.
Okay.
Then you may have to find out which verb form it is used, and that verb form may be different for the 4. So then you get, okay, which exact dhatu is mentioned there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Jagdishaji, are there any quick tips? You were explaining the akaranta with visarga is a pullinga.
Yeah, that comes with the practice. Once you know the pratipadika is simpler, but if you don't know the pratipadika, then it comes with the practice in the sense after looking at some things.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And everybody doesn't know. Like, you know, even myself or Kalpesh, we also have to look for refer to the dictionary, one of these things very often when we prepare for the class.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Next time, can you teach us how to use the keypad?
What's that?
Sanskrita keypad, how do you convert it? I just saw that you added chinta, CHINT, capital A. Is there a...
No, here you don't have to do anything.
No, in other words, when I'm searching, should I have to get...
Okay, when you are searching, what I suggest is in your search engine or, you know, whether it is...
Jagdishaji, you can actually type in English also.
Yeah, I typed in English only. I don't have the English keypad. Okay. But here, if you see my screen, you see a keyboard here. So I have picked these languages, Saṁskṛta phonetic, Kannada, and Hindi.
Okay.
So based on this, if I check this out, then it will be in English, Roman letters. Right now, I am in Sanskrita. That is why it displays, even though in the same keyboard, I typed CINTA, or capital A. Okay, you know, this transliteration rules I already gave you. It is there in the in our presentation slides.
I want to use Kannada too. Okay, we'll do.
No, I sometimes for something else I do for Kannada. If I'm answering somebody in a Facebook article or something, then I do that. Okay, so in this is in Chrome. So in your web browser, that should be the alternative. You can change as many languages you want. The only thing is, you know, sometimes I was doing this. Suppose then I go to pay a bill. I put my password. It appears in Sanskrita. Okay, then you go back, switch it. Okay, that happens. But this is a very handy tool. Okay. Any other questions?
The Ashtadhyayi app is also very good, Jagdishaji.
Yeah, it is very, very good. Yes. And moreover, you know, the amount of content they put in.
Right.
And people, You know, some of the things have to be hand typed. Of course, there's a lot of volunteers, but some experts have to scan through that.
And the Apte dictionary that you mentioned is also mentioned here.
Yeah, here, most of the dictionaries are there. Okay. So Apte, Sanskrta to English, Sanskrta English, Sanskrta to Hindi. So Apte, I have Hindi actually. So I generally go to Shabda Kalpadruma and Apte. And another source is this Sanskrit dictionary, but then it won't give you all the details. This is like a spoken language. Sometimes it gives a list of huge numbers. The meaning may be all over the world. So which one do you pick? Okay, so that way, it is in Sanskrit English. That is the only easy part in there. Otherwise,
I've been
you
using
go there,
that.
you get confused.
It's a little more difficult.
Yes, it is too much information. You have to decide which one to pick.
Right. One other question, Jagadish ji. Last class, you mentioned something about Samhita. Samhita Eka Pade.
Yeah, Samhita is equivalent to Sandhi. Panini
Sandhi.
uses the word Samhita.
Okay. Now, is there a
But the
difference?
meaning is Sandhi.
Now, in Ganapati Athura Shirsha, we come across Sagamhita Sandhi Saisha Ganesha Vidya. Is that the same?
Yeah, I think it is the same. Like, you come across the word Samhita Patha. Okay, Pada Patha, Samhita Patha, the 11 types of recitation processes.
Okay.
There also Samhita Patha means wherever there is a Sandhi, you make the Sandhi.
Okay.
In the Pada Patha, you break the Sandhi.
Okay.
So there also Samhita used in the same sense as Sandhi grammatically. But based on the topic, whatever the Upanishad is talking about, then Samhita might have some other meaning that I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Sudhir, have a question? Sudhir Patthar.
Yeah. I have one question actually. So,
yeah.
Ramaha Vanam Gacchati. So the Vanam was Dvitiya there.
Yeah.
So I had a confusion there that what I heard some time back is that when Gam Gach Dhatu Mr. Ravi Kumar, can you please mute?
Okay. Let just Sudhir speak. He has a question. Yeah.
Right. So when Gam Gach Dhatu is present, then Dvitiya is used, but then otherwise it is Saptami.
Oh, no. It is nothing to do with the dhatu. What is the meaning you want to convey? The person called Rama is going to... Okay, who is still... Hello, please everybody be on mute except for Sudhir. Okay, Virangama, can you please mute? Oh, he's on mute. Who is speaking?
Ravi Kumar.
Mute all.
Yeah, it's me. Accidentally. Sorry.
Okay. Sudhir, go ahead.
Right. So I was saying that, the Vanam is Dvitiya there. So I was...
Yeah, Vanam is Dvitiya because it is the object of the action of going. Dvitiya Vibhakti is used for object. Prathama Vibhakti is the subject.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we will discuss that, the words and all those things, but when we go to book 2 after this. Okay, anything to do with the noun, vibhakti, tiṅanta, all of them are discussed in much more detail, especially the nouns and vibhaktis are discussed in a lot more detail in book 2.
So in this case, it won't be ever a case that Ramaha Vane Gacchati.
No.
Saptami.
No. That means if you change that, if you translate that, so Rama goes on the forest. Does it make sense?
Or in the forest.
Yeah, or in the forest, on the forest, because Adhikarana is a locative. It doesn't say where he is going. It says a place. And doesn't make sense Ramaha Vane Gacchati. No. You can say Rame Vane Tishtati. He stays in the forest. You can say that. Vane Tishtati. For 13 years, he stayed in the forest.
Right.
So
what I was... Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. If you want to say he lived in the forest, you can use that 7th.
Okay. So what I had learned, or what I had heard some time back is that when Gam Gach Dhatu is there, then Dvitiya is used.
Yes,
So maybe,
because
okay.
whenever you say go, the question comes to where.
To where? Okay.
Okay,
Thank
to where is the object of going.
Okay, thank you.
The answer to the question to where is the object of the verb going.
Okay, thank you.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om, namaskar.
Thank you very much, Jagdisha ji.
Jagdish ji, I have one question.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who is
how
talking?
do, hey, Jagdish ji, this is Ravi. Sorry.
Ravi, okay.
How do you, like, on your OneNote, you change the script from English to Saṁskṛtam, right?
I don't do this. I type it in one of the Saṁskṛta things, put it in Microsoft Word, change the color and everything, because once you put in here, the font size changes, and some of the colors, this bright blue color I like on white background, that bright blue color is not native in OneNote. So I type it in Word and format in Word, then copy and paste it here. Then it retains the color, and there only thing is I may have to change the font size, but that I can do.
Okay, got it. I was trying to take some class.
And then from any other textbook, I just trim it from there. What is the snip tool from the PDF and paste it here.
I have one small inquiry about that previous question. Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Okay, so the gentleman before, he said about Samhita Sandhihi, that is from Ganapati Upanishad. So it says Gakara Purva Rupam, Akaro Madhyama Rupam, Anuswaras Chanta Rupam, Binduruttara Rupam, Nada Sandhanam, Sangohita Sandhihi. But we are talking about different thing, right? He was talking about...
That is what I said. Exactly, you answered the question. Because when you go into those topics, he is explaining something else. That may not be pure grammar. Okay, it might have different meaning in Samhita. So I don't want to get into those things because that is too much of deviation.
Yeah, and because the Samhita that we are talking about is Sahita, Samhita. But this is Sa, then Gum, and then Hita.
Okay, that is okay, but that means Samhita only, because if it is an Upanishad, it came from a Veda. In Vedic Sanskrita, a Anuswara followed by Shasha Saha will be pronounced as Gum.
Oh, okay. So it could mean the same thing then.
It means the same thing, or it is written the same thing, but the word meaning of the word because meaning of the word changes with the context, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So that is why I mentioned to him also.
Yeah.
It's maybe on a different topic. The word may be used in a little different sense because the topic is something different.
Okay. Very. Thank you so much, Jagdish ji.
No problem. Hari Om.
Shubharatri.
Hari Om. Jagdisha ji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Stop sharing. Close. End.